Welcome back to the channel. Tune in or go stout. Being smart or frugal with your money seems like something that takes a long time to master, but truly, I think you can implement it in your everyday life and get on the path to a better future quickly. I've always had a broad market approach to this channel. I focus on the major news affecting the actual money rather than what you could do in your everyday life to stack that money. While I'm not saying I'm great at this or I found secrets that people haven't said, I did grow up in a situation where money wasn't as abundant, leading my family to get smart and find ways to save even in a system that's meant for you to spend. First, I would say be ready to call customer service. This has been the number one thing that has saved me hundreds, if not like $50 at the minimum on whatever bill I have to do it for. I'm not saying call them up and lie. That would be fraud, and we do not advocate crime on this channel.
If you can't do the time, don't do the crime. Okay, time's up.
Come on, guys. But you have to know what you're paying for and if you're getting the service you're promised. For example, I have internet at my home like many of you do, and I pay for a certain speed, that being 1 gigabyte of speed. If I'm only getting 800 megabytes of speed that month, then I'm not really getting what I paid for, and that prompts a call to customer service. Usually, people would just overlook this and pay their bill and not worry about it. But when you're trying to be frugal, every dollar counts. You don't have to be mean about it, but hey, I'm not getting what I paid for. Can I get a credit for my bill? And that helps. I know it's not $1 million in your pocket right away, but if you do this, add this on top of your other bills. I do this often for AT&T because I'm being overcharged, and that's where it gets good. When they do something wrong, you make them pay for it, guys. If my bill gets overcharged and I'm, let's say, $100 short that week because they took $300 instead of $200, then I'm gonna call and make sure I get back $160. That's just how the game works. You either play it or you get robbed blindly. Rich people do this too, so don't think that you're being mean or you're not being considerate of the system. The way they do it is through tax cuts and loopholes. The way we do it is by using our voice to say that we're not happy with the service that we're getting. If I could do this with groceries, I would, but that is a cartel that we can't even really deal with. But pick up the phone, dial the number. I know we're on the phones anyway, swiping through everything, but just be ready to talk. Again, the customer service person doesn't even really want to deal with it anyway. They're used to people going through the text chat and avoiding that, but pick up the phone. I promise you, you will see instant returns. Don't fraud the system, don't game the system, but if you're not getting what you paid for, say that. You know, the only thing you have as a consumer is your voice, and with everything else being a monopoly, if you can say something to save yourself a little bit, that goes a long way. Number two, always compare rates. No matter what you're doing, always compare rates. Never go with the first option, and never accept the deal when you're sitting in the chair. That goes for insurance, phone plans, internet, not so much subscriptions. I think when it comes to subscriptions, bro, like pirate it. This is not legal, but pirate it, you know? I'm not going to teach you how to do that. It's 2025. But everything else, you should be comparing rates endlessly. I like to do this at least once a year at minimum. And if you can, avoid signing any contract for more than a year. A lot of these companies will try to reel you in with loyalty bonuses, but those are never as good as their introductory rates. This one doesn't apply as much to the phone bill unless you own the phone outright, which I know many people do not, but you can see the real benefits of this tip in your car insurance, your housing bills, your internet plans. And the reason this works is because they always offer better rates for first-time customers. Even though they do employ the use of loyalty plans and tiered members depending on how long you've been there, especially when it comes to insurance, the offers they give to new members usually beat these loyalty rewards they dish out, but you really want to exercise this when it comes to car insurance. Every situation is different, but sometimes you'll have a local car insurance that's just cheaper than the nationwide brands like Progressive, Geico, or any of the big names, or even the big names will be priced very differently from each other, having different upfront rates and discounts for certain special programs like safe driver or multi-car policies will see greater benefit under certain brands. This may not seem as big of a deal, but bills follow you your entire life, so getting ahead of them is always the best idea. Knowing where the market is priced or how low the market is willing to go will help you set a price target for what you want to get and be realistic of the discount you can actually receive. For example, my current carrier gives like a $300 discount for being a smart driver. That means you have a defensive driving course. A defensive driving course costs $90 one time every 2 years, and this helped a lot on my yearly total. When I compared this insurance versus other ones, I saw other companies offered half that, maybe like close to $200, but nobody offered as much much as this insurer. And that was by me picking up the phone, comparing rates with them, looking online. And you have to get sneaky, because the more you look for rates, the more it will know that you're looking for rates. I will be on private browser. I will have like different ways to get new results, so I'm not being screened through the algorithm and just being given the same results. In this algorithm-based internet that we have now, everything is going to be based on your traffic and what you do. So if you want to get new rates, you have to go and, private mode it, try to do something. VPNs help. Many people know this is true already for when you look for plane tickets or when to travel, but it's gotten so bad that even your Instacart account is being affected by who you are, not where you are. This goes into a broader conversation of digital privacy and a new age of classism that we may see, and how AI might even push us more towards a caste system than anything else. If you let Palantir continue, I promise. I probably just give them a year. Say one bad thing about BB and you're done, you're cooked. But until it gets that bad, guys, make new accounts, use VPNs, compare prices, look online, and if you're already locked into a plan, your strongest negotiating tool is saying you'll leave. This doesn't work as much with insurance because, once you're locked into an insurance rate, you're pretty much stuck there unless you're paying the whole bill. There's a whole bunch of stuff that comes with that. For your internet or phone bills, this works greatly. If you see a rate online that's better than your current rate, you can always get them to put you on that new rate. It might take some haggling, but it works 99% of the time. And if they just absolutely can't put you on that rate, then just threaten to leave. They'll transfer you to the cancellation department and they're going to throw you the craziest deal you've seen. I'm talking about $30 for 6 months. Like they're like, please, is there anything we could do? And they're going to give you some form of credit, whether that's canceling out the plan so you can go to the newer plan, or that's giving you a really good deal so you could stay with them. The idea with these companies is always retention. Most people don't take the time out of their day to even call or talk. They see the offer online and sign up completely without any pushback. And that goes back to the ideology, honestly, that the price tag is not the price tag all the time. You can't do this in a Kroger's, you can't do this at a food grocery store, but you have to get smart and do it where you can. And honestly, the reason you're able to do this so easily is because these contracts, you could piss on them, bro. They don't mean anything. Obviously, it's binding. Obviously, that's your service for the amount of time you sign up for it. But a lot of these things, they will never apply. Late termination fees don't exist. If you have a backbone or a spine, they won't exist. If you just take what they say at face value and have no pushback, you're going to get stomped on. And that's with anything in life. You don't have to be a mean person. You don't have to be an angry person. But this is beyond usury. You have to stand up for yourself, because as the little guy, you don't have that many people on your side. Wisdom is better than strength. Number 3. Now, this one is going to be a weird one. And if you've never had debt, then you might not understand why I'm saying this. But with over a quarter of Gen Z having their debt go to collections and millennials having the most overall debt, you're going to have to find a way to deal with it. You either go 7 years without paying it and somehow dodging the collections trying to find you or sue you, which I do not recommend. And if you can survive those 7 years, sure, it will be off your record. But if you do get sued and you don't reply to the lawsuit and you get defaulted on, your wages will be garnished. If they can't garnish your wages, then they will sell stuff that you own to pay themselves. Yes, you should really look into this stuff. But luckily, if it hasn't gotten to that point and you still are just late on payments, call them and see what you guys can do. They will always try to get their money by any means necessary. And usually that means having to settle or negotiate. While they might not settle on the entire price, they can work a lower monthly payment so you don't get behind, because they do want to get paid. These companies don't really want to send your money to collections. But I think a lot of us get scared about the idea of debt and let that pressure mount on our shoulders and cause a lot of avoidance. Luckily, this was something that I learned from, my older cousins and my mom. Always just handle your problems head on. Now, if you do have debt that has gone into collections, this is kind of a good and a bad thing. So if it's in collections, you can negotiate for settling for way less. I'm talking about way less. I had a buddy who owed $1,000 on an Amazon credit card. He forgot to pay it. It went to collections. He ignored it as long as he could. And then one day he picked up the phone after like 6 months and asked, hey, can we negotiate them? He tried to lowball them. They said, how much can he afford to pay? He said $200. They settled on $300. Once it goes into collection, these people have bought your debt for way less than what it's actually worth, because they know it's going to be a hassle to collect it. If it was easy to collect debt, there wouldn't be bounty hunters, And I wouldn't say be ashamed. A lot of people don't understand finances. They're never really ever told about how it works. Everybody tells you not to get into it, but that's easier said than done. And if you already made the mistake of getting into it, the only thing that you can really do afterwards is try your best to get out of it. Going into collections will hurt your debt, no doubt. I'm not here to sell some fake hopium them that, oh, it'll just be off your record like it never happened once you pay it off. Because once you pay it off, it does affect your credit. But you know what affects your credit even more? Getting sued, getting your wages garnished. With the new credit system that we have and the updating of how credit scores work, while it does impact your score, paying back your debt in the long run will not impact it as much as if that debt just lingers on there. And that 7-year rule isn't 100% truthful. If they do want to do a really deep dive into your credit, they can pull it up. They can't judge you on it, but you know, who are you to tell if they're doing that or not? Just like everything else in life, guys, it's easier to tackle things head on. Avoidance kind of makes bigger problems. When it comes to debt, you have 3 options. You either pay it off, do nothing, or you dispute it. Always dispute anything. Never just take anything at face value, but once you dispute and that credit sticks, I recommend paying it off. Doing nothing and hoping that 7 years hits without them taking legal action is stressful. But even when it falls off your credit report, most states have a 10-year window for legal action for these debt collectors. So you'll always have that constant stress of, are they going to sue me? Are they going to do anything? And just because it's not on your credit report doesn't mean it doesn't affect your pocket. Paying it off doesn't have to be immediately, but let's say you wait a little bit, try to get it half off of what you owe or even more. Paying it off at your earliest convenience would be the smartest move, because that 7 years is gonna hurt either way. If your debt is on year 6, don't pay it. Let it, give it that extra year, let it fall off your credit report, pay whatever. But for a lot of people who are currently incurring debt and who already have debt in collections, I think your best bet is to pay it. It's not as bad as it was decades ago. It's not great, but the stress is just not worth it. That's how you stay stuck in your financial position, in my opinion. You need to learn a different mindset that is confronting things head on. I keep saying this, guys, but at the core of all these tips is just being focused on your life, your money, and the voice that you have. This constant feeling of helplessness that we're just a consumer and that our money doesn't matter, whether we save it, whether we spend it, leads you into nihilistic spending. Understand the impacts of debt, understand why it's good to avoid it, and why it's good to get it off your shoulders. Other than putting you financially ahead of other people, being debt-free is unmatched. I know some people may disagree with it, but I truly think you cannot start your financial journey until you wipe out the debt and the baggage that you were carrying around. Being financially smart comes with a new mindset, new approach to everything, and you need a clean slate. This isn't Xbox or PS3 where we could just change our gamer tag and be a new person. We have credit scores, we have social security numbers, sadly, and we have to improve ourselves, and that goes holistically. I hope the information I shared today will help put you guys ahead. I know I talk about investments, gold, and just the everyday market news, but it does start at home. It does start at the small things. Even if it's a small impact, you have an impact, and you should utilize that. But at the end of the day, what do I know? I'm just an unemployed guy playing Call of Duty, sharing my opinion. If you agree or disagree, let me know down below in the comments. I do read the comments. And thank you guys for 3,000 subscribers. It's crazy. This has been an amazing gift right around the holidays, perfectly timed. You guys have been showing so much support, and I appreciate it. I am just some random guy. Thank you for everyone that comments. Happy holidays. You are loved, and God bless you. If you haven't already, like and subscribe to join the thread. And with that being said, thank you for tuning in. Until next time.
I don't wanna ever lose you. You know that I got so